My name is Loretta Hayes and I'm from Hayes Sewing Machine Company, and welcome back to our creative videos. Today we're going to show a little bit of ruler work. We've done ruler work videos in the past and we've had a lot of requests about other rulers. So we're going to cover some Amanda Murphy rulers that are fairly new to us. We've been carrying them for maybe about 9 months. And so the one set of rulers that we're going to cover is going to be the every circle. And the every circle come with 5 different templates. And you can do 10 different size circles. So you'll see in the center here, and then also on the outside edge, and then you also have the 5 different templates. So 2 times 5 is 10. One of the cool things that Amanda has done is if you take a look at the rulers themselves, they have the markings. It gives you the measurements for the ruler right by. So the inside circle on this one would be a 2.5, but the outside one would be a 7.
She does the math for you.
She does the math for you. Also, the other cool thing that she does on her circles that I have not seen on any other circles are these black circle lines here. So I'm going to be showing you how you can do kind of a set of pearls, maybe running down a border or a sashing strip. And what's super cool is we will be able to line up the circle that we have previously stitched using these black lines, which was really, really helpful for keeping you accurate. The other cool thing that comes in with the circle templates is she gives you a kind of idea pamphlet that can get you going with your circles. Pictures are always worth 1,000 words for me. On the back of Amanda's circles, she has kind of a grip, kind of a little textured piece to it, which is lovely. But I find that I still need a little bit more grip. So all of the rulers today, I'm using handy grip on the back side of them. So what I do is I cut a square or a half square. Handy grip comes in strips, and they give you a ton of it, so you have enough to do like 20 rulers. But it's a clear, it feels kind of like sandpaper, but it's not like sandpaper in the fact that it never rubs off. And the fact that it's clear means that you can still see your markings with ease, without any problem. And the difference between doing something that's not gripped and doing something that is gripped is if you are working with, I'll just flip this ruler over here to show you the non-grip side. As we're working and we're trying to push our fabric, you'll see that the ruler is slipping on top of the material as I move it. If you flip it over and you have the grip side, you can see it becomes as one unit. So my rule of thumb is if I'm putting grip on and I still get a little bit of shift, I just go ahead and put more grip on. I think that it varies a little bit from person to person because, we have different, some people hold the ruler really tight, some people really hold it loosely. So, the rule of thumb would be if it's still slipping, add a little bit more grip. All right, so we are going to start out with the circle here. I'm going to be doing the 2-inch circle, and we're going to start out by drawing a line. Now, I am going to draw a line with a ballpoint pen, simply because it's going to show up better in the camera.
Don't do this in real life.
Please do not do this at home. All right, you could do this with a friction pen where you can iron it off. That'd be lovely. But whenever you're doing rulers, you need to have some marking tools. My favorite are, like on dark fabrics, I'll do a white Choco marker. And then the other way around. Dark fabrics, I'll do a white Choco marker, and lighter to medium weight fabrics, I tend to do friction pens. All right, so we've drawn our line. So if you can imagine, let's say that we have a 3-inch sashing or border. So we'll come in, and so there's 1.5 on that side, and we've got 1.5 on that side. So we've got our border, and we've chalked our line down the center.
So that's basically a center with 1.5 inches on either side.
Yeah. So this would be your border. I realize it's not pieced, but this would be your border, and you're just going to draw a line down the center.
Got it.
Could be your sashing or whatnot. When I'm auditioning my rulers, I like to audition my ruler so that my circle is not going to come right to the edge. I always like to give myself a little fudge room. You know, in a perfect world, my 3-inch border is going to be 3-inch everywhere. But if you have a 3-inch circle and you are quilting and your border is slightly off, then it really shows up. Whereas if you drop like a 2-inch circle in here, I'm going to have a 1/2 inch on either side. And it just makes it look pretty. And it floats. And I think it brings a lot more attention. All right, so when you start with circles, you will see that there is a line that is running down through the middle of the ruler. And so we are going to line that up with the line that we've just chalked. We also could get away without it because Amanda, in her wisdom, has put many lines on the sides of the ruler. So I could line up these 2 lines on the edges of my border, and I could run down from there.
Got it.
I like as much marking as I can get, so I have all 3. All right, so we're going to pick up our presser foot. The foot that I'm using today is the number 72 Bernina ruler foot. There are 2 variations of this now. This number 72 has been around for a while. They also have a 72S, which gives you a slit that is running down the front. So if you're doing a lot of stops and starts, that's great because you can tuck your thread under the foot really easily. When you go to place this into the ruler, because we're going to jump into the ruler, what we want to do is we want to place the ruler, put the foot nowhere close to the ruler, put the foot down, and then we can slide it in. What we're trying to avoid here is we're trying to avoid putting the foot down on top of the ruler, which will crunch things. Now, the thickness of rulers are going to be dependent on your machine. So in the case of a Bernina, they use a 1/4-inch template, which is the same template that we use on our long arm machines. Okay. So like on our Handy Quilter Moxie, on our Baby Lock Coronet, these are the same rulers that we're doing there. What is super cool about Amanda is she does 2 sets of rulers. So the outside, could you hand me that packaging originally? All right. So you can see this this package is kind of a teal color.
Hold on a second. They can't see that.
I can hold it up. Is that better?
Yeah, let me back it up. There you go.
All right. So you can see this one is teal. And so this is a 1/4-inch ruler. So great for Berninas, great for long arms. However, she does all of the same rulers, and in the packaging, it's going to be kind of a lime green.
Got it.
And these are going to be a little bit thinner. So if you are working with, some baby locks or singers, that kind of thing, if your machine is a low bar foot, then you'll be able to use these exact same rulers, but you just need to get the green packaging so you get the proper ruler size. If you have any questions on that, we can help you with that in the store. Literally, you're just going to bring me the model, make and model number of your machine, and then we can get you the right rulers. All right, so we are now ready to go. We're going to place our foot down. When you are doing free motion of any sort, including ruler work, we want to pull our bobbin thread up. If we don't pull it up, we're going to be in trouble because we are going to end up with a kind of a little thread burp on the back. So go ahead and take a stitch, raise up your foot, pull. Sometimes you'll have to get it out of the way. If you've been using your thread cutter, this is one of those times where I try not to use my built-in thread cutter because you'll see I'm trying to pull this up and it's a teeny tiny little tail. I feel like you need your serger tweezers. So I'll tend to cut with the scissors or tend to cut with my manual cutter on the side, so I have a little bit longer tail. So we're going to come down, we're going to put our foot down, we are looking at the lines, just check it out, and we're going to do just a couple of little stitches. I literally do a little hitch, and then I will trim these tails so that the long tails are not in my way. However, I don't get perfect about it. I'll wait until my project is off the machine and I'll give it a proper haircut. So here we go. We're going to go 360 around the circle. So super, super simple. You'll notice I'm going kind of a medium speed. We're not trying to go Mach 2 with our hair on fire, but neither are we going hokey pokey slow. You know, if you get kind of a medium speed, you're going to get prettier stitches. So we have just created a circle, which is awesome because I could practice free motion circles forever and not get a full geometric circle. You know, I'll get bubbles, I'll get pebbles, that kind of thing. But right out of the gate, you can get perfect circles with your ruler. Now, if we want to do pearls, or, you know, we're doing a border situation where we want to do a row of circles, we don't want to have to tack off, jump to our next point, tack on, and then keep doing that all the way down. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep our ruler in position. I have gone 360 around, and now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go 180 back, and we're going to come in and we're going to stop at the bottom. We can now pick up our ruler and we can slide this in. So I am now lining up my line so I can check my lines. But I don't know if you can see in the back there, Pam. You can see
it's matching on the circle.
It's matching up on those black lines there. So it just gives you that extra reassurance that everything is going to go well. So we're going to come along. We're going to go 360 around. And then you have the big decision. Are you going 180 on the same side? Or maybe you might take it and do the 180 alternating sides. I never have a rule for that. I just I seem to make that decision on the fly. And so we then go along, and you can see how incredibly fast this is. So we'll go around our 180 and just work our way down. So super, super cool. We're going to bring our needle up. We're going to bring our foot up. I'm going to pull my threads out so I can get a little bit longer bobbin thread and I won't have problems pulling it up. But you can see how you get these great looking circles.
Look at that.
So when I'm doing pearls, I do tend to try and be in my circle, in the middle of the circles. We've got 5 inner circles. But if I'm doing things like scallops, then I'm going to be working on the outside of the circle. So if we wanted to do some scallops, we could come in and you can kind of audition your circles. This one here is the 4-inch circle, so 4-inch on the outside. So if you can imagine, this is the bottom of your border and we're going to scallop going this way. So I'm going to line up the line that's going from left to right, basically the 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock line, with my seam in my fabric or my drawn line, whichever. And so we're going to come in and we're going to start over on the side. So once again, I'm going to drop that foot well away from my ruler so that I'm not catching the ruler. Then I can move it into place. We'll go ahead, we'll drop our needle down, we'll pick our thread up, and you can see now I have a much longer tail, so much easier to maneuver that. You don't have to deal with the little guy. Do a little hitch on your stitch, and then clip your threads and get those out of the way. So a scallop is merely half a circle. So we can come in and we're going to stitch up over the top and down the other side. So we're going to come down and we're going to meet our next line. And so we have just created a scallop. Now, one of the geniuses of Amanda's rulers is that she has not only the line that's going through the center, but she also has these lines here. So if you wanted a shallower scallop, you could take and bring them in. if you wanted to stack your scallops, you could do those.
Wasn't she clever?
So super, super cool stuff. So now we're going to come over, if we're going to do a bunch of scallops in a row, I'm going to take it, I had my ruler over here on the left-hand side of the foot. So now I'm going to take and I'm going to move my ruler over here to the right-hand side of the foot. So we can come along. We're coming up over the top. And I always give the analogy of the roller coaster when it comes to working on the outside of a circle ruler. You know, everything is controlled when you're doing a roller coaster. It's all, you know, click, 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 click. Everything's perfect until you get to the top of the hill, and then it's woo all the way down. So I never find that I have any problem going up to the top from this side. But when I'm coming down to the other side, I pay attention. I push the ruler into the foot a little bit more so I don't kind of fly off the edge of the ruler.
Got it.
Now, we can do simple scallops, and we can just go along and do that. But there are super, super cool things that you can do with your scallops. There's an Asian motif where they do kind of like, it appears like grasses in it. And that is super simple to do while you're doing your scallop. So this was where I was. I had my line there. So I'm going to drop down about 1/4 of an inch. I'm just eyeballing it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sew up. And I'll go about halfway. And we'll come down. And we'll come to the bottom. Then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to scooch it down another 1/4 of an inch. And this time as I go up, I'm going to go up, but I'm only going to go, maybe I'm going to stop about 1/2 an inch from my last one. And we'll come back down. And then I'll slide to the third one. And we'll come up and we'll come back down. And it creates this really pretty kind of decorative. Then we can come and we can do our next and we can go along. Now, if you are doing scallops in a large area, so you have a 12-inch block that you're going to do. If you want to stack your scallops, you're going to simply come, we'll imagine this is the edge of the block. We're going to come up to the half point on the ruler. We're going to pause. So I've come up to the top of the hill. I'm now going to take my ruler and I'm going to line it up, and I have 3 lines to line up. I've got the line that's here at 3 o'clock next to the foot. Over here at 9 o'clock, I'm going to be on the top of the scallop here. And down the center at 6 o'clock, I should be pointing to exactly where those scallops came together. And so now we can come up. So up to the top, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Okay, we're going to come down, we're going to kiss the line, then we're going to take it, we're going to bring our ruler over again.
So it's nice having 3 points.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. And here's a little trick. If you get off, which you inevitably will, okay, what you want to do is you want to make the adjustment not at the 2 outer points. You want to make the adjustment up at the top. So what I would do is I would come up to my top, and if I'm like, oh, I need to shift this over a little bit, I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll make the adjustment, and no one will be the wiser. Of course, I was lined up perfectly this time.
Of course.
Any other time I would be able to show you that. All right. So if you're doing a block, don't forget your little half scallop, so that you fill in the space entirely. And then we would be ready to do our next row going along.
That's beautiful.
So circle rulers, I use them both in and out. So the inside of the ruler and the outside of the ruler.
Can you show that one more time?
What's that?
Going across, I don't think I had the camera quite lined up.
Going across the thing here?
Yep.
Sure.
I'm not sure if I had the camera. I was watching it. I wasn't watching the camera. You're mesmerizing.
All right. So we've got our circle.
So you line up your 3 points.
I've got the 3 points lined up here and here and there and there. And so we're going to be here. So you would normally pick up your foot. You pick up your thread. We'll see if we can just fake this out. There you go. So up the top of the hill. Okay, pay attention as you're coming down, because this is where it sometimes likes to separate from the ruler. Kiss the line, so we're just coming right down to the line. Then take your ruler, line up your next ones. And so you've got this one, and the point down here at the bottom.
So 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 6.
And 6 o'clock, right. And so we'll come in, and we'll work our way across. And remember, you could do those decorative things at any point. So you could do that in every single scallop. But you could also do it like alternating scallops. You could do a row of them. I like it because it does create a lot of interest, but it doesn't take much time to do.
Let's say it doesn't seem to have a lot of work to it.
And then we would come in and we would line up on our next one and then work our way. So we're coming along and we've got that going.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay?
Yep.
So I hope that you enjoyed this ruler video. The ruler work, if you have had issues where you're not comfortable with free motion, ruler work really is structured free motion. It's free motion with training wheels. And there are so many awesome rulers out there that will create what would be challenging shapes to do with free motion. It makes it so easy to do, and you get success right away. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you next time.